Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the official TV channel here in Cannes. In our section called Opinion, we invite international journalists to come and share with us their views on the films in competition in the official selection, just to share their pleasure, their indifference, their excitement that they've experienced with the different films. I have with me Thierry Chaise with me here today, journalist with Studio Ciné Live and other publications, and Nigel Smith. Hello, Nigel. You are a journalist for IndieWire, devoted to American films, but you do know films from around the world, of course. Before we talk about the films we're talking about in detail, can I just get your general feel for what's happened so far?
Well, I also remember the bad ones that I didn't like. I actually remember those often more so than the ones that I did enjoy. But in terms of the ones I did love, I really responded to Carol by Todd Haynes, starring Rooney Mara and Cate Blanchett. It's set in the 1950s. I'm sure you saw it as well.
Ah, j'adore.
J'adore, yeah. I mean, critics were raving about this film. It's wonderful. I think it's Todd Haynes' first film since, what was his last one? The one about Bob Dylan.
I'm Not There.
I'm Not There, which is also fantastic. And then I also really loved the film Amy. It's a documentary about Amy Winehouse, directed by the filmmaker behind Senna, Asif Kapadia, and it's extremely moving and so beautifully put together.
That one's not in competition in Chaise. I saw you nodding, Thierry, when Nigel was talking about Carol. Yes, it is my favorite film, and it was so fascinating because, of course, everyone expects Cate Blanchett to be extraordinary, but Rooney Mara was even more extraordinary. A real discovery. But I also loved Son of Saul. I can't believe it's a first feature film. It is just so majestic. We've read in the press how it is difficult to applaud at the end of the film, but you receive a thump in the heart with that film. It wouldn't be the first time that a first film wins a Palme. Remember Sex, Lies and Video. Two films in competition that we're going to talk about, and one outside of competition. We're going to start talking about The Measure of a Man, Stéphane Brise's film, his first in competition. He could win the Golden Palme. It's the third time he's worked with Vincent Lindon after Mademoiselle Chambon and A Few Hours of Spring. Let's take a look at the trailer. The film is being released tomorrow in France.
J'en ai chié autant que toi. Moi aussi j'avais un boulot, moi aussi je l'ai perdu, et moi aussi j'en ai bavé derrière. Je vais toucher 500 € par mois. Je fais comment pour payer toutes mes factures, tout ce que je dois? C'est dans 9 mois, c'est là.
Est-ce que vous pensez que vous seriez d'accord pour accepter une fonction en dessous de celle que vous avez occupée dans votre ancienne entreprise?
Ah oui, je pense, oui.
Bah, vous pensez, vous êtes sûr?
Est-ce que vous avez envisagé la vente, peut-être, de l'appartement?
Oui, mais c'est non.
C'est non? Et bah, pour quelle raison?
Ça serait comme si tout ce qu'on avait fait, ça avait servi à rien.
Donc au niveau des hôtesses, tu zoomes bien pour voir si elles scannent tous les articles, vu qu'il n'y a pas eu beaucoup de départs en pré-retraite, donc il essaye de virer du personnel.
Chacun choisit ce qu'il veut faire. Moi, je pense que pour ma santé mentale, je préfère tirer un trait, passer à autre chose. Est-ce que ça fait de moi un lâche?
Bon, qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est pas la première fois, Madame Semlé, que vous avez été filmé. J'en ai dit. Vous confirmez?
Oui, monsieur, vous confirmez.
Thierry, vous confirmez?
La loi du marché sort en salle demain en France.
The Measure of a Man has been released in France tomorrow. It's the second of the 5 French films in competition this year. Stéphane Brisé has
c'est une vraie œuvre sociale.
led us to expect an intimate type of film. How did you find it? I found this film absolutely magnificent. I'm so impressed by this film. Talking about everyday life, because that's what the film's all about, is always very difficult on film. Why not make a documentary, one might say, particularly because Vincent Lindon is working with non-professional actors in the film who don't even want to be actors, and for most of them they occupy the same jobs in their real life. Well, is this not just some kind of artifice? No, it's very well documented. We really are at the cinema. We're in Scope here. These people are paying tribute to real-life human beings, and Vincent Lindon is the best French actor. We knew that before this film. We knew it from the first shot that we know as soon as Vincent Lindon is there, he is that person. And playing with non-professionals makes you be even more truthful. So he knows, we don't know how he does it, but he is so precise. And then there's that link between Lindon and Brisé, the director and the actor. There's even an interview, a job interview on Skype. Nowadays, we don't have time to see people face to face. The producer, Christophe Rassegna, who also produced La Haine, worked on this. Instead of filming the screen and Vincent Lindon, they film the whole scene from the side, which makes it so more poignant. It's because nowadays times are tough. This is a terrible time in history, and that's what we're being shown. Stéphane Brisé decided purposefully to use a very small team, small budget, to thrust Vincent Lindon amongst these actors who are not professionals. Because there was one scene on the side shot of the interview by Skype. Is that his new trademark? Goodness knows. Vincent Lindon read the script once. It was taken away from him, and Stéphane Brisé every morning would say, "This is what you have to do today." There's one stage which is about selling a house, and in the film it should last about 10 minutes. Stéphane said to Vincent, "You're not going to sell, and the other person wants you to sell. So you have to fight for it." And it was so strong. If the director had not been there, it could be quite pathetic and totally condescending. But because before Brisé brought the film to Cannes, people wondering, what are his credentials? Well, I love his films in the past, and now everyone can see why he has been selected. Whether or not he wins a prize, we know that he is worthy of his place here with this film. This is one of his films, and Cannes really can put the spotlight on this film and offer Brisé a wonderful career. And yes, how wonderfully diverse the selection is. You have not yet seen The Measure of a Man. Nigel, what's your view on French film? Are there some interesting things? Well, I lived in Geneva for 6 years.
I've lost it over the years, but French cinema has always been a major love of mine. Isabelle Huppert is my favorite working actress there is today. Piano Teacher is one of my favorite films of all time. So I'm a big fan of French cinema, and yeah, I mean, that's why I write for IndieWire. We write about international film, we write about indie film, and it's a perfect fit.
Voilà, et notamment les films indépendants. Voilà pour La Loi du Marché, Stéphane Brisé.
So much for The Measure of a Man by Stéphane Brisé. The film is being released tomorrow in France. It is a really amazing film. Vincent Lindon is so pure. He's got so many secrets as to how he acts. We're going to move on to the next subject. Now the second film in competition. It is Louder Than Bombs, directed by Joachim Trier. He is Norwegian, lives in Denmark.
Il fait des films très existentiels.
He makes very existential films. He's a charming young man, very jolly in real life.
Et très très mignon, mais je n'osais le dire de peur de
I didn't want to say that.
Mais apparemment.
But thank you, you did. Yes, apparently he's very good looking. So let's take a look at some clips.
Ugh. I can't believe they still do this shit. They're really good. Oh, yeah? Yeah, they got second place in, like, some competition. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. There. Which one? Gray hoodie. Ah. What happened to her arm? Man, she'll miss the game on Friday. Oh, sure.
Hey, sorry.
Where are you? Are you okay?
Yeah. No, I'm actually, I'm still here. Did you not get my message?
No. What's happening?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy up here. Yeah, no, I kept thinking I would actually make it back, and then I'm actually, I'm in the middle of a meeting with a gallery right now. Yeah, there was kind of a mix-up.
I really need to talk to you.
Yeah, I will Skype you as soon as I get back to the house, though, okay? Yeah.
Who's that?
What? No, I don't. What? I don't know. No, I don't know what that was. But I miss you, and yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, call me.
know if I had a girl, I'd never lie to her.
Yeah? Good luck with that.
Voilà, Louder Than Bombs de Joachim
Louder
Trier.
Than Bombs, directed by Joachim Trier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that
Nigel
properly.
Thierry, vous aviez vu ses
Have you
précédents films? Alors, celui
seen
qu'on
his
connaît en
earlier
France,
films? The one that we
Oslo
know in
31
France
qui
is
était
Oslo
présenté en
31st
2011
August, which was
dans
presented
la
here in, the
catégorie Un certain regard.
in
Vous suiviez
2011.
déjà ce jeune
Have you been
homme,
following
I
this
saw
guy's
that
career?
film about a year after it premiered at Cannes, and I was just struck by its tone and the kind of efficiency of the direction. I mean, he's really a very precise director. His vision is just so controlled and measured, and I responded to that film a lot. It kind of sneaks up on you in a powerful way, much like this one, to me anyways. I mean, I know the response was kind of muted following the first screening for Louder Than Bombs. It got, you know, some applause, but they weren't like the Carol applause, for example. There was no hooting and hollering. I did a little hoot at the end because I quite enjoyed it, but it's a very subdued character study. It's not a loud film, despite its title. It's like his previous work, and I think if you're a fan of his previous work and you saw a lot of insight in those previous films, I think you'll respond to this one.
Rappelons-le, donc c'est une histoire de deuil.
This is a story of mourning. The father played by Gabriel Byrne, the two sons, his wife died a few years ago. Isabelle Huppert plays the role. It's a death which is difficult to reveal within the film. This is a film about things which are left unsaid. Thierry,
peut-être aussi sur l'univers de ce réalisateur.
What do you think about this film director? What do you think about him?
Aussi, alors c'est toujours des films dont on a
was really sensitive to this film. I was a bit nervous about it coming to Cannes. It's not a very radical film. It's a film which puts many questions, but goes through to the end of all of those questions. What does it mean to be a son, a father? How do you deal with mysterious death?
Qu'est-ce qu'être mari?
What does it mean to be a husband? And all of these questions are answered as the film goes on. The pace is slow. This director is obsessed by mourning. Yes, he addresses metaphysical questions. Yes, a lot of our colleagues found it a bit too much like Wim Wenders, but in the negative sense of the term.
Mais moi, je trouve qu'il va... Quand on a vu en effet ses précédents films,
we've seen his previous films, I think it's on the same line, and it's not simply because he's in English, he's not lost his way or anything. He is a wonderful director. Yes, it isn't a European film. It is in English, filmed in New York, but the crew is European. Huppert, Byrne.
The cast is magnificent. I mean, I think this is the best ensemble cast I've seen so far in a film here. Everybody brought their A game. I think Jesse Eisenberg has never been better. He was fantastic in the role. And there's this newcomer. I have his name here because I forgot it. Devin Druid. I hope I pronounced it right. This is his first film. And he actually has a bigger role than Jesse Eisenberg. He plays his brother who's coping with the loss in a kind of self-destructive manner. And you learn a lot about him via flashbacks in his dream sequences. But he is just remarkable. And he holds his own against Isabelle Huppert, which can't be easy for a first-time film actor. I mean, maybe he wasn't really familiar with who she was, you know, before going on set. But he's amazing. And Gabriel Byrne is wonderful. Gabriel Byrne hasn't had a good role in years. I can't recall the last time he's had a role this juicy.
Alors,
il y a eu une treatment.
Et le temps,
well, in treatment, that was a couple years ago.
Un film français qui s'appelle Le Temps de l'aventure.
De Jérôme Bonnet.
There was a film he was in.
Non, un américain.
Oh, okay.
Non, il joue en anglais.
In America, he falls in love with Emmanuel.
On sent qu'il a envie d'aventure européenne. Il est irlandais.
Yes, he is Irish, so it's nice for him to play a role in a European film.
On n'a pas encore de date de
sortie. So that's for Louder and Bombs. I don't know when it's being released in France. That will depend on how it goes down in Cannes. Produced by the same company as the Palme d'Or, as the Golden Palm last year.
On va maintenant sortir de la compétition et
outside of the competition now
nos âmes d'enfants à bras le corps, retourner en enfance avec un film d'animation qu'on attend
with an animation film which we've been looking forward to for a long time, the latest Pixar film. And when you talk about Pixar, of course it's going to be superior quality. It's called Inside Out. Here's the trailer.
Vous êtes-vous déjà demandé ce qui peut bien se passer dans la tête des autres? C'est la rentrée! Je suis trop contente!
Riley a au moins 272 raisons de flipper, c'est une catastrophe!
Sans parler de cette odeur et de cette crasse!
On va passer une belle journée qui deviendra une belle semaine, qui deviendra une belle année, qui deviendra une belle vie! On va faire la liste complète de tout ce qui devra enthousiasmer Riley.
Parmi les pires scénarios, on a être interrogé par le professeur.
Riley, tu veux bien te présenter en quelques mots?
On ne va pas faire ça! Elle va nous interroger!
Chut,
suis trop triste pour marcher. Groupe de filles hyper cool à 2 heures.
Allons leur parler.
Ça va pas la tête, pas question de leur parler. Ce qu'on veut, c'est qu'elles nous aiment.
S'enfermer à double tour et hurler le seul gros mot qu'on connaît. Ah, ça donne la fritage.
Vous savez, vous êtes pas obligé de venir à tous mes matchs.
On a un énorme problème.
Quoi? Tu plaisantes? Je ne veux pas en rater un.
Alors là, c'est tout sauf cool.
Mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Oh, tristesse! T'as touché au souvenir?
Tu es sûr que ça va?
Je sais pas trop.
Parle-le!
Laisse-moi lâcher!
La mémoire centrale! C'est n'importe quoi!
Qu'on répond là?
T'es en panne, mais pourquoi tu t'es en panne?
On est où là?
Attends, tu vas te perdre.
Sois positive!
Je suis positivement sûre que tu vas te perdre.
Comment s'est passé ce premier jour d'école?
Bouge, je vais vers toi.
Tout s'est bien passé, ok?
Je n'aime pas du tout ce genre d'attitude. Respire, on ne s'énerve pas.
Accroche-toi!
Je le crois pas, il fait encore ses yeux de merlan frit.
C'est pour ça qu'on a largué notre pilote d'hélicoptère brésilien.
Viens, envole-toi avec moi, petit chat.
Vice versa, Inside Out
Inside
en anglais.
Out.
Le film sort en France le 24 juin.
It's
Il est présenté en
being released
compétition
in
ici
France
à Cannes parmi les voix françaises.
June,
Pierre Ninet,
and there are many
Gilles
French
Lelouch,
voices. Pierre
ou encore
Ninet, Gilles
Mélanie
Lelouch,
Laurent.
Mélanie
Le film sort
Laurent,
le 17
and it's
juin.
the 17th of June.
Thierry,
It's being
je vois
released
tout
here in
sourire.
France. Thierry, I can see you smiling from ear to
C'est le
ear.
retour de Pixar à son
This
sommet.
Pixar
C'est-à-dire
is
qu'on a eu
back.
quelques
It's
suites. Moi,
at the
Cars 2,
peak.
j'étais pas
I
spécialement
wasn't
fan.
very much a fan of
Même
Cars
Monstre
2
Academy,
and even Monster
là, on
Academy,
revient à
but
du Pixar,
here,
c'est-à-dire
this
le
is
fameux
great
principe
Pixar, the
d'arriver à
famous
faire un film où
principle
tout le
of
monde peut
making
s'y
a
retrouver.
film
Les
that
plus petits
everybody can love.
comme les plus grands,
The
où les parents qui vont y
youngsters,
aller
the
vont pas
parents,
s'ennuyer
the parents will be
pendant
bored when they
3
go
heures.
to the
C'est
cinema.
extra donc le principe de qu'est-ce qui se passe
The
dans
principle
nos
is
têtes, en
wonderful.
fait,
What's going on
pendant
inside
qu'on-
someone's
je vous parle,
head?
qui prend
What's
les
going
commandes?
on? Who's taking control? Which emotions? Is it joy? Is it fear? Is it anger?
À partir de là,
So given that premise, which is very simple, you can go on a journey around the
qui devient
brain,
à la fois dingue,
and it's
très drôle,
crazy, it's really
c'est être
funny.
émouvant sans être
It
larmoyant,
can be
justement,
moving
sans-
without being
qui est
sloppy,
magnifique jusqu'à son
and it's
générique
magnificent.
final.
And
Ne partez pas
from
avant le
one
générique final
second,
où, en fait, ça
from
se
the
passe- je
beginning to
trouve
the very
qu'il y a
don't go
vraiment
before
un
the end
renouveau
of the
de
film
créativité,
because
que ce
the
soit présent dans un
credits at the
festival
end are even
comme Cannes, et
entertaining.
encore, ça le mérite, c'est un
It really
grand
is
film
worth.
d'auteur
This is
animé,
a
et
big
c'est vraiment un film
animation
d'auteur
film,
comme
a
les plus
quality
Pixar.
film. It's
Nigel, c'est quoi
an
votre
art
Pixar
house
préféré? Et à
film.
votre avis, c'est quoi
What's
la patte
your
Pixar?
favorite Pixar?
Quoi?
La patte, là,
And what
le
makes a
fait
Pixar
c'est des films
film?
qui ressemblent pas au...
Oh,
How can you
what makes
identify a
Pixar
Pixar
stand up in the
film?
pack? Yeah. Well, my favorite Pixar, I'm gonna have to go with Toy Story 2. Just because of the surprise factor. I mean, you know, you expect a sequel to be just a cash grab like Cars 2 unfortunately was and Monsters Academy. But Toy Story 2 is just surprising on so many levels. I really think it's like the best sequel next to Godfather 2. And yeah, it's my favorite Pixar film, has been since I'm going to see this one soon. So this will probably take its place based on what I've been hearing. I've been hearing amazing things. I mean, I've known grown men who wept at this movie. Twitter just exploded after the first screening of this at Cannes. So dying to see it. And then what makes them unique? Well, before, you know, Cars 2 and Monsters Academy, it was just the originality of the vision and of the story. And it's their ability to really connect with both younger and older audiences without pandering to either. You know, they just make wholly complete works of art that just appeal to generations and that I think will really stand the test of time. Starting with Toy Story, they really set the bar high with their first movie, but I think they've delivered consistently apart from those 2 sequels I just mentioned. So I'm so happy that they're supposedly back on track with this one. Is there a possibility for a sequel considering what happens at the end, or?
Tout est possible. Je pense que on a envie de les retrouver.
Everything's possible. It's hard to let them go. If we could write a sequel, that'd be fine. The problem with the sequels is that they can be disappointing. However, this is the number one. Inside Out is great for youngsters and those who are not so young. You'll know all about your emotions once you've seen the film. And so thank you for listening to Opinions. We'll be back at 6 o'clock with Anne and Didier. There's a red carpet of Inside Out this evening at about 7 o'clock. It's not in competition, this film. And after that, there will be red carpets for the Joachim Trier film, Louder Than Bombs, which will be on the red carpet in the big movie theatre here in Cannes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Come back whenever you want to, and have a lovely evening on TV Festival.